guys, if you're new to Deception Bytes, hit the like and subscribe button and be sure to hit the bell to be notified of future videos. If you wish to support the channel, the links are in the description below. Now, fasten your seatbelt. Here we go.
Okay, I'm back, and it is Wednesday, July 31st, last day in July, which is amazing. I don't know where July went, but it is the last day. So anyway, we are going to be going over the Q post from yesterday, July 30th, and it'll probably take me 2 videos. So just warning you, it may not, but it probably will. Also, I'm hoping to get to Q-related news as well tonight at some point, because we are really behind and there's a lot of really interesting stuff, interesting and important stuff that I need to get to. So anyway, I apologize for not being able to post last night, but it could not be helped. Besides, not only was I late, and it would have been very, very late getting it to you, I was coughing my head off. So that is not pleasant for anyone. So anyway, doing much better tonight, and I am hoping to do a little marathon of posting tonight, but who knows? We'll see how my voice holds out. All right. Also wanted to get to this as well. I know many of you that are cat lovers have been asking me about Xander and Sammy and saying, you know, you wish that I could have them on camera. Well, I did get the most adorable video today of them, but I'm going to save it until the end of the video. That way the people that are here strictly for Q posts are able to say, okay, well, I'm out of here now. So I did that for their sake, because I know that a lot of people would rather me just stick to the post, but I know that a lot of my regular listeners like it that I chat and like the cats. So there you go. I'm trying to, you know, satisfy everyone, but my regular listeners come first. They really do. I think you guys are the bomb diggiest. Now, don't ask me to define that. You're just the bomb diggiest. All right, let's get started here. And we're starting off from the first post from January 30th. And by the way, there are no new Q posts for today, the 31st. At least there weren't right before I started to record this. I did check. So these 2 videos, it'll probably take 2, are going to catch us up to the Q posts, and I will check when I'm finished with these 2 videos to be sure that Q has not posted today. If he has, I will come back and bring you that, Lord willing. Okay, so let's get started here. July 30th, the first one that was posted by Q says placeholder, D-class, exculpatory evidence, illegal hold, non-report, FISA, T, surveil, that is surveillance. Now, what is Q talking about here? Well, it took me a few times of reading this to really kind of get a hold on what he was saying, but he's saying because this, let me see, this and this, the whole thing is within a placeholder, okay, first of all. And then the D class is in its own placeholder. But placeholder within the D class, this is how I read this, the D class is in all of this, but there's going to be exculpatory evidence. And remember, we went through the definition of exculpatory, and this is evidence that, had it been submitted, may have changed the outcome. So we know that there was evidence withheld, especially in the case of General Flynn. We know that evidence was withheld, exculpatory evidence that may have led to a much different outcome. And it was withheld, or it was held, or non-reported. It wasn't reported. Now, either they held it illegally or they just didn't report it. Both are illegal. So, and then it says, additionally, aside from the exculpatory evidence, or maybe this includes exculpatory evidence, it says FISA _T _ surveillance. Now, you can read this 2 ways, I think, or there may be a third way to read it, and maybe you guys can put it in the comments below if you think of another way. But FISA, T, surveil, I think it could stand for Trump, seeing as it's a capital T, could stand for telephone, FISA, telephone surveillance, or FISA, Trump surveillance. I don't know, but whatever, I do believe that there is exculpatory evidence, in both. There's exculpatory evidence and there is FISA T surveillance, or the FISA T surveillance is within the exculpatory evidence. I think it can be read both ways, and I'm not sure which way he intends it, but the D class will reveal that exculpatory evidence that wasn't reported when the FISA applications were submitted. And we know from, previous Q posts that there wasn't evidence submitted that could have led to a different outcome and probably would have exonerated. And so, yeah, I don't think that they would have, in fact, I don't think that the FISA would have been granted had that exculpatory evidence been included. So, and that means that Trump wouldn't have been surveilled because he was under the umbrella. They were spying on directly, well, so they say, Carter Page, Flynn, who else? Gosh, Papadopoulos see, my brain is a little bit, I don't know. That's just making excuses anyway. I just can't remember I think there were 3 that were spied on illegally. Carter Page, most definitely. And see what happened. Paul Manafort. Anyway, what happened was, they were spying on these guys, but all of those guys were, had Trump as a contact. So that meant that they could spy on Trump, who was really who they wanted to spy on anyway. But they couldn't just say that. They couldn't get a FISA warrant to spy on Trump. So they got it to spy on these guys. And as their contact, they were able to spy on Trump. So it's all going to come out. It's all going to come out that when they submitted these applications, they left out evidence that would have made it go a much different way. All right, now here is the next one from July 30th, yesterday, and it says _hot8, _hot9, _red, yes, freedom mark 1 to 99, yes, PC _sig d, confer _net W1. Now, I don't for 1 second believe that this is aimed towards us. I don't. Now, it may be used as a marker later when Q says, well, this is what this meant, or this, we were performing this and, whatever. He like future proves past, just like when he was doing the red-green thing. So this may make sense to us at some point, but it doesn't now, and it's not meant to. This was sent to an operative or operatives in the field. This was a signal to them. So it was not intended for us. If it was, we'd be able to somehow decode it, and we can't at this point. We don't have the information to decode it. So future proves past. I do believe that this will come back around, as everything always does. Whenever there's a post that we don't understand, eventually something will happen. Q will say future proves past, and we'll be able to look back and go, oh, okay, that's what that was. So it's never been that Q posts something and we don't find out at some point what it, at least in part, means. So this is not intended for us now, but just make note of it because it'll come back around again. Now, let's go up to the next post. And this is and I'm not going to play it because we've seen this before. Any of us that have been around this, for a while. Now, if you're brand new, you may not have encountered this before, but it's a video showing piles and piles of, well, they're boxes, locked boxes, and they're full of cash and they're marked Red Cross. So they look like they're carrying medical supplies. That's what anyone would assume. but they're not. They're carrying piles and piles of cash. Now, Q has told us before how nefarious the Red Cross really is and how it's used for laundering money and moving money and weapons and trafficking and everything else. The Red Cross is not what you think it is, and that did not surprise me because I was aware of that long ago. I was involved in organizing relief missions to, oh, I'm sorry. I was organized like relief efforts, like we were able to get a container and fill it with food and clothes and so forth after Hurricane Mitch in Central America. I've always been very, very interested in Central America and have been there several times. So anyway, I knew then that and I'm not going to go into that whole story, but I knew then that the Red Cross was really, really bad and was not interested really in helping people. They would say they were, and they'd be there, but not much help was given. Anyway, so the Red Cross, not what you've been told they are. I always shock people because I don't know about down there, but here, every so often they'll be collecting for the Red Cross, and I'll say, no, I'm not giving anything to the Red Cross because only pennies on the dollar ever get to, the people in need. And also, if there's anything local, like a local shelter or whatever, I feel really good about giving to that, but not the Red Cross. Anyway, so we see this video here, and Q is bringing this back around for a reason. He always brings it back around for a reason. He familiarized us with it, well, gosh, a year and a half ago. But now there's a reason he's bringing this back around, and he's wanting to remind the new people and to remind all of us that have forgotten, because my gosh, there's been so much in the last year and 3/4, however long it's been, must be year and 3/4 by now. And then beneath that, Q has an older post of his. Now this is from January the 7th, 2018. And Q says, US taxpayers are paying for it all. Paris Accord equals scam, trillions. Red Cross equals scam, billions. Foreign aid equals scam, trillions. War equals scam, trillions. On and on. Who audits where the money actually goes? No one. Who actually receives the money? Don't know. The US taxpayer is funding the very people we are engaged in taking down. Slush funds everywhere. And I think we visited this whole deal about the slush funds and how it's used for payoff money and everything else. Think George Soros pays for Antifa out of his own pocket? The hole is deep. Feel sick yet? Q. Yeah, I feel a little sick. I felt a little sick the first time this came around. I'm still feeling a little sick, thinking that money that we paid, taxpayers paid, or money that we donated to some of these causes never went to the people we donated it to. And it eventually made its way into the deep state's pocket to pay for their false flags, their black ops, things like that. Yeah, and in many cases it went to buy guns to fight the very wars that we were fighting against, and it was supplying the guns to the enemy. Yeah, which killed our citizens, our sons and our daughters. Yeah, it's mind-boggling, really. And Q says, unrelated but worth noting, 7255097, is that up here? Whoops, hang on. Yeah, so this is picture of money, And really, when it zooms out, you see that the whole room is full of these chests, and they're full of money. And Q is saying, okay, well, the video is unrelated to this, but it's worth noting because there was something wrong with this. I remember it. This is not the first time it's come around. So anyway, Red Cross, bad, bad. All right, here we are going up to the next one. And the next one is this: not the first time, not the last time, reread past drops, voter ID. Q. And now this seems like it's coming out of the blue, and yet he's going to post a lot more about voter ID coming up here. So he's skipping around a little bit, but let's, he said reread past drops regarding voter ID. Okay, well, there's a lot of past drops regarding voter ID, and if I brought them all for you to look at, we'd be here a very, very long time, and our bums would be numb from sitting. So I just pulled up a couple here for us to look at, and here it says, welcome to the Democratic Party, or the Democrat Party. They will stop at nothing to regain power. Time to adopt voter ID law. Q. Sorry. Okay, okay, yeah, all right. And then, how do you safeguard the integrity of our elections from domestic and foreign criminal actors? How do you utilize the Russia narrative to knock out decades-old election corruption? So it's interesting because, who was it that just admitted during the debates? No, it was it Buttigieg? One of them. I need to find that because they admitted it. They've got him on camera admitting it, saying, yeah, we've brought people in to Texas in order to turn the state blue. That's what he said. So we have a chance, basically. We've brought all these people in so that we have a chance. He admitted it on camera. Not too swift, that boy. Not too swift at all. But anyway, so we're going to be, and it says, why are the Dems opposed to cleaning up voter rolls? Well, why do you think? They don't want to take all the dead people off the voter rolls because dead people always vote Democrat. They do. You never see no Republicans, dead people voting Republicans. Dead people don't vote Republicans, ever. They always vote Democrat. It's true. You could have been a staunch Republican voter all your life, but you die and suddenly you're voting Democrat. It's the truth. I'm not joking. And illegals always vote Democrats. Why? Because they're the ones giving them everything. They know where their bread's buttered. Yeah. They're not going to turn that bread down. Let me tell you. So, yeah. Why oppose basic common sense methods that are currently deployed worldwide? Every other place on earth, you have to have ID to vote. Why not in the United States? Why is that racist? Because that's what they say. They say, well, you know what? If we do that, the poor people will feel, they won't want to come out and vote. What? Really? You got some real problems with logic there. That doesn't make sense. Why is it not illegal to, or why is it not racist or whatever to have to show ID to get cigarettes, buy alcohol, get a driver's license, pick up a prescription at the pharmacy? Why? Why is that okay? I mean, shouldn't they be all crying out and saying, oh my God, this is racist, it's racist? And then it says, why oppose basic common sense methods that are currently deployed worldwide? Good question. Logical thinking, corruption. That's what it is. It's corruption. And here, I missed something here because I had the first one here where we were talking about the Red Cross, and I'm sorry that I'm, skipping back, but I just saw this. I had put this from Dio Presso Liber, and I think that it's a very good comment on that post. So I want to go backwards, then we'll go forward again. Last QAnon post early this morning was a repost. Q said untested 2 stringers. The public will be in for a shock when they see evidence that forces them to recognize the trillions of US taxpayer dollars used by Soros and socialist activities to fund the Paris Accord, Red Cross foreign aid, war, etc. Never audited. American taxpayers deserve to be vindicated and repaid by these corrupt organizations and billionaires. The hole is extremely deep and dark, and POTUS, thank God, is shining the light of truth and justice on the evil and exposing it. Democrats can't raise funds, so their politicians essentially launder money through organizations like Planned Parenthood. Planned Parenthood has been given $1.5 billion in taxpayer dollars over the last 3 years, and PO used up to $60 million to influence 2018 elections. Soros has used billions in taxpayer subsidies to sent to his nonprofits to topple governments, push the leftist socialist agenda, and buying elections. QAnon has mentioned in prior posts that Soros' wealth never depletes because he uses U.S. taxpayer funds to accomplish his dirty work. This is how Soros funds Antifa. This is how the leftists find Red Cross, the Paris Accord, or this is how it should be fund. This is how the leftists fund Red Cross, the Paris Accord, foreign aid, think Pakistan and Palestinians, etc. U.S. taxpayer funds all these leftist slush funds. It's all a scam at the expense of the U.S. taxpayer. One more thing on Soros. QAnon said in the past that Soros is targeted and they have a very special place picked out for Soros. I hope they do. Yeah, and how much was it? 1.5 billion to Planned Parenthood out of taxpayers' money, and yet the very infants that they're aborting, they are selling the fetal tissue, the organs, and that's why they push to have them push for it to be legal to allow abortions up to the age of birth, because the organs are worth more. The more developed the baby is, the more money they get for those organs. They're selling all that for big bucks, and we are funding it. We're funding that organization. Why? It's a good question, isn't it? Okay, enough for that. Enough of that. And let's go back up here. So we were discussing, before I went backwards, we were discussing voting ID. Now, let's go back up to the next one. And we have this. It's a long post here. And the next one says, Q is making reference to a post by an Anon who referenced Donald Trump's tweet. It says, we should immediately pass voter ID at voter ID, please, to ensure the safety and sanctity of our voting system. Also, paper ballots as backup. Old-fashioned, but true. Thank you. And this is what he linked to. This voter ID, please, is... I don't know why I cannot get this to scroll properly. It can't be, it's not brain surgery here, but you'd think it is. Okay, so this is the voter ID. I am sorry, I don't know what is up with this scrolling. It drives me crazy. Okay, this is what Trump linked to. Voter ID, please. This is their Twitter page, and it says, where we go one, we go all, voter ID, please. That is the name of this Twitter account. And it says, come on, America, follow and show your support to require a valid ID to vote. Let's keep this great country on the right track. MAGA, where we go one, we go all. And they had, at this time, 2,460 followers, but I bet you they have a heck of a lot more now that Trump, linked to it in his tweet. And then underneath here, this is from Q, it says, thanks, Baker. Missed POTUS linking a QAnon at voter ID, please. And would say that might be notable directly. Okay, no, this is an anon saying that. This is an anon saying this. Q is just linking to all this. So it says, thanks, Baker. Missed POTUS linking a QAnon at voter ID, please. Would say that might be notable directly to page, not a specific twat. And so QAnon responds just by acknowledging all that. And then beneath here, I have a comment by Dio Presser Lieber. The lies Dems tell and are able to get their sheep to believe voter ID equals suppression of minority votes. Absurd. Voter ID laws prevent cancellation of valid votes. Why should a Ukrainian immigrant who may be an illegal immigrant be allowed to vote in our elections? His vote cancels out the valid vote of an African-American citizen, thereby disenfranchising the African-American citizen's vote. Dems turn it backwards and pitch the narrative to confuse and convince the sheep their voting rights are being suppressed. Logic, thinking, reason. It's true. And when I first arrived in the United States, I was there legally, but I hadn't yet received my I was on a NAFTA TN1 visa when I first crossed the border into the United States. I was always legal, but I hadn't gotten my green card yet. I wasn't able to vote. And even as a green card holder, you are not supposed to vote. You're not. It says that. They told me that right in immigration. They said you're not allowed to vote with a green card because you're not a citizen. I understood that, and I didn't try to vote. I couldn't, not legally. I could have because anytime I had anything to do with the license, my driver's license, they'd always say, can we add, have you registered to vote? And I'd say, I can't vote. Why can't you vote? Why can't you vote? I'd say, well, because I'm a legal green card holder. Oh, they don't check that. Well, why not? Why should I be entitled to vote? I mean, now, granted, I should have got my full citizenship, and then I wouldn't be in the situation that I'm in right now. But I don't understand this. I don't understand why, the Democrats get away with this. Yeah, you need to be a citizen to vote, not a green card holder, not there on a visa of some sort, not just visiting. You need to be there and be a citizen of the country. Why is this difficult? I don't understand. And, Dio Presso Lieber is right because, yeah, if you've got an illegal citizen and they're canceling out the vote of an African-American, how is that okay? It's not. The African-American is a citizen and you've got some other nationality or whatever who's not a citizen, they could be canceling out a citizen's vote. That's not right. Gosh darn it. All right. I know I'm a little bit, I think I'm hangry. Right now. All right. Anyway. Well, and fed up with this stuff, really. It's not any joking matter, laughing matter at all. It's very serious. Now, let's come up to the next. The next one is this, and Q links to a Twitter feed by Enoch, and it says, and Q says, time travel is fun, or ... Q. Now, I cut this tweet out So to save us a little bit of time, and we've got this. I might have to make this a little bit bigger because I know you guys won't have much of a chance to see it, and making it bigger makes it blurry, and I'm fresh out of Blurry Be Gone, but here we go. It says, Enoch says, do you believe in coincidence? Hashtag QAnon. And we've got this graphic here. And this from an Anon 12/12/2018. And this Anon is asking, will voter fraud be exposed before January? Now this was 2018, 12/12/2018, just this past December. This was when they posted this. And then down here, it leads to here, 12/12/2018, Q responds and says, no. Will voter fraud be exposed before January? No. 2019 push voter ID. So Q's letting us know that no, it's not going to be solved, exposed before January, because that would have just been the next month, right? So Q's saying no, it's not going to. We're not going to push for voter ID law until 2019. And it says based on verifiable intel, 2019 push voter ID based on verifiable intel, fraud, 2020 plus safeguarded, Q. So Q is letting us know that 2020 will be safeguarded because there's going to be a push in 2019, where we are now, based on verifiable intel, fraud. There's going to be a push for voter ID laws because they have verifiable intel that fraud has been committed. Now, how do I know that? Well, because when you've got more voters registered than there are even citizens of age to vote, then there's a problem. When you've got people that have been dead for 10 and 20 years voting, there's a problem. When you've got illegal immigrants voting, there's a problem. So yeah, fraud, it's fraud. And we saw what happened in the 2016 midterms, not 2016 midterms, I mean the midterms, not the 2016 election, but the midterms. We saw what happened. There's at least a couple, I think 3, that shouldn't have been in there. And we know that. Sorry. Okay, so from here, we go over here. And this is a tweet from Donald Trump, July 30th, yesterday, same day as this, as Q is posting this. And Donald Trump says, we should immediately pass voter ID. Then he links to voter ID, please. We should immediately pass voter ID to ensure the safety and sanctity of our voting system. Also, paper ballots as backup. Old-fashioned, but true. Thank you. Now, this is Q Post 2018, POTUS tweet 2019. So we have that, and excuse me, let's go down here. And this links to this page where we go one, we go all, voter ID, please. Come on, America, follow and show your support to require a valid ID to vote. Let's keep this great country on the right track. And where we go one, we go all. And up here, oh, this just links up here where he calls out voter ID, please. So yeah, well, I'll tell you, that tweet by Trump set off a firestorm. And you know why? Because he linked, or he mentioned this page, which is clearly pro-Q. Where we go one, we go all. It's pro-Q. Yeah. So people were a little upset about that. Why is POTUS linking to a conspiracy? Now, these were not deep state people, because the deep state, oh, they know Q is true. Oh, they know beyond a shadow of a doubt that Q is true. Yes, they do. But it is the liberals that are believing what they're hearing from mainstream media, not only liberals, because there's probably some Republicans as well that are just, believing what the media is telling them and whatever, and they're thinking, oh no, I'm for Trump, but that Q stuff, that's a conspiracy. No, I don't want any of that. And then you've got the liberals that are believing that, and they're like, oh, that Q, that's a LARP, man. That's some pimply teenager in a basement. Yeah, that's what that is. Well, I think any of us that have been listening to this for a while, and I don't consider myself stupid by any stretch of the imagination. Now, I'm not brilliant either, but I'm just saying, I don't think that you guys, most of you that I'm familiar with, you're not stupid people. If this was a conspiracy, just a conspiracy, and a wild, outlandish, tinfoil hat wearing conspiracy, I think that you would have seen through it by now, right? So, we're reasonable, logical people. So, yeah. Yeah, and I'm not sure about this. Time travel is fun. I don't get that. Do you get that? If you do, inform me, because I want to know. But it's just, it's very interesting. All of this is very interesting. And, President Trump, linking to a site or a Twitter page that's pro-Q, that's something. That's big. We've seen him make the Qs in the air, but still people say, that wasn't a Q. He was just pointing to someone. No. We've seen so much that it's just, I can't even question it anymore. Now, there may be disinformation in here at times because Q has said disinformation is necessary because the deep state is watching this just like we are, right? So, of course, the deep state is watching this. They believe it. They believe it more than some of us do. But for the most part, it's pretty reliable. Okay, now let's go up to the next one, shall we? Of course we shall. Why would we come all this way and not read the next one? That would make no sense. That would make not a lick of sense. Okay, here is the next one, and I know it's way too small for you to see, but I've taken care of that. I'm always thinking about you guys, always thinking. All right, so this is the next one, and it links to an old post here, and it says, prepare for voter ID equals voter suppression of minority vote, Q. What he's saying is, that's their next talking point. It's coming, if it's not already here, and I think it already is here. Their next talking point will be, once voter ID is brought up in a serious way by POTUS, what they're going to say is, oh no, that'll suppress the vote of the minorities. No, oh no. So we need to be prepared for that because it's coming. They'll be like, oh, we can't do that. We can't have voter ID. Just let anybody that comes vote. Because otherwise we might not get the minority votes. No, you'll get the legal votes that should be voting. Those people are not going to be suppressed. Why would they be suppressed by having to show their ID? They're legal. What do they care? What do you think, like African Americans are going to say, oh no, I have to show ID? Oh, never mind. No voting for me. Why would they do that? Really? Just why? And legal Hispanics. Do you think they're going to do that? They're legal. If there's lots of Hispanics here that are here legally, they're hardworking, good family people. I knew a lot of very good Hispanic people when I lived in the States. Very good. They were family oriented. They loved their family. They worked hard, and they were citizens. They were here legally. You think really they're going to say, oh, I can't vote now. I got to show ID. No, I'm not going to vote. Does that make any sense to anyone? Of course not. These people, I don't know. they had brains, they'd be dangerous, man. Seriously. Okay, now, this is a comment by Lisa Mae Crowley, and she said, this National Bureau of Economic Research study contradicts the voter suppression argument. We find the laws have no negative effect on registration or turnout overall, or for any group defined by race, gender, age, or party affiliation. Yeah, they've done a study on it. There's no effect because legal people will vote legally, right? They're not going to say, oh no, I voted when you didn't require any ID, but now that I have to show that I'm a citizen, and I am a citizen, I'm not going to vote. That makes sense to no one. Like a kindergartner could understand that reason, could point out the flaw in that reasoning with very little difficulty. Seriously. All right. Now, come down here to the rest of the post. Well, it's not the rest of the post, it's just where I've made it bigger for you. And it says, remember this map where they overlapped a map of where the illegals were and a map that were primarily Democratic areas, and it overlapped perfectly. Surprise. Okay, so it says keyword foreign. What about, okay, only when the election harms the Democrat Party will they claim foreign interference. Right, we know that. Keyword foreign. What about domestic interference? Well, actually, it's interesting because I don't call illegals voting domestic interference. I call that foreign interference. They're foreigners. They're interfering in our election. But anyway, for the sake of argument, says, what about domestic interference? Non-citizen votes by county, non-citizens promo by county, non-citizen organization by county, targeted districts breakdown by non-citizen data accumulation, voter irregularities, internal, -2 laws enacted in battleground areas as test for 2020, voter roll screening, review of non-votes, Democrat, ballot population, track for sign, submit late for count, vote swing figures plus rule of law, new standard of no-show vote, Supreme Court 2019 scope case. Anyway, why do Democrats push for no voter ID laws in the US elections? Well, we all know that. Why do they push for open borders? Well, I think we all know that too. They don't have the votes from real citizens, so they have to import those votes. And the only way they can get votes, this is how out there they are. The only way they can get votes is by getting foreigners in and promising them the moon and the stars. And who's going to pay for that? The citizens. That's right. So find the connection. Well, we know the connection there. Sometimes a map helps. And of course, that's when he overlapped the two maps. What Supreme Court decision 6-3 ruler voter ID did not suppress votes or deter minorities. Anyway, what false narrative is pushed by the Democrats regarding voter ID law? Racist? Well, that you know what? That's their answer to everything. It's their answer to everything. I saw an interview and it made me laugh, except it was really sad because Tucker Carlson was asking this guy, I'm not sure who he was, but he's one of the people that is in charge of Baltimore, and they were asking him, well, what do you account these rats and everything to? It's racism. Everything was racist. It's racist. It's racism. Well, where did this $1.8 billion go? Well, you know, that's not the part. That's not the point where it went. The fact that, you know, we've been kept down for generations. It's racist. It's like, okay. How do you have a conversation with that? You know, could you imagine being married to someone like that? You can't even have a logical conversation because it's like racist. No matter what you ask them, what do you want for dinner? Racist, you're racist. You know, it's like, yeah. Anyway, okay, voter suppression of minority vote. When is an ID required? It's required for everything. When is an ID? You know, you want to get a loan from the bank? You think they're going to say, oh, no, don't show your ID. That's racist. I'll just give you the money. Right. Should an ID not be required at all for any reason, given the argument made by the Democrats? Does the argument a national voter ID law would suppress the minority vote suggest minorities are incapable of obtaining an ID? When is an ID required? For everything. Which minorities are they referring to? Illegal immigrants? Logical thinking. Yes, they're talking about illegal immigrants, because think about it. You know, the African Americans that are legal here in this country, they get loans, they go to the liquor store, they get, you know, or whatever. I guess there you don't have to go to a liquor store, you can get it at the grocery or whatever, but still, you know, if you look young, they have to ask ID. If you look too young, you know, to get a loan, to buy a car, to get a driver's license, they have to show ID. And do they have a problem with doing that? No, no. They all drive cars. Some of them a heck of a lot nicer than mine. Not that I begrudge anybody anything they work for at all. I don't. They should have it. But, you know, they obviously don't have a problem with showing ID because they do it. Just, you have to show ID to get an apartment. My gosh, to pick up a prescription. If you have a painkiller or something in there that they, you know, deem could be, you know, I don't know what they ask. I don't know what they ask for. I don't know, but I know any narcotics or anything like that, they ask for ID. And what do you think people just say? Well, no, I'm not going to show you my ID. I just won't pick it up. Stupid. You have to show ID when you go to a hospital. All right. Is there a previous, okay, we don't need to read that. We've gone through all this before. I'm just trying to, you know, Q is obviously wanting us to remind us of this, and probably for the sake of the newer people. Anyway, logical thinking, facts matter. You are the news now. And we know that. We are the news. And don't look at me and say, well, you are the news. No, we are all the news. You guys provide me with information all the time. And it takes all of us, I'm no more important than you are. We're all fighting the fight. All right, now let's go on. And you know why? Because we can. That's why. Now, I love this. This may be my favorite post of all time. It's getting close anyway. Now, this is the next post by Q, and he links to Devin Nunes' Twitter page, and Q says, targets may be closer than they appear. Hunters become the hunted. Q. Now, I've cut this out to save us a little bit of time, and this is Devin Nunes' Twitter page. And there he is with a gun, and he says, hunting for chupacabras, circa 2001. Now, I know I can't think of anybody in the States that might not be familiar with that word chupacabras, but it's not just people from the States that are listening to this program, so we do have to explain what that is. All right, so I went and here I put, now from here down, I got this from Wikipedia, but this, Nunes has often compared the Democrats' never-ending search for something that doesn't exist as a hunt for Loch Ness Monster or the Chupacabra. Now, you know, they are searching for something that doesn't exist because they're searching for, what are they searching for? Collusion? Obstruction? Collusion with Russia? Well, there was no collusion for Russia. They're hunting for something that doesn't exist. So he's often compared that, like people look for the Loch Ness Monster or the Chupacabra. Now, I'm not saying the Loch Ness Monster doesn't exist, and I'm not saying the Chupacabra doesn't exist. I'm just saying that they're extremely hard to find if they do. Now, the Chupacabra or Chupacabras means literally goat sucker. That's right. From chupar, to suck, and cabra, goat. It means to suck a goat or goat sucker. Is a legendary creature in the folklore of parts of the Americas, with its first purported sightings reported in Puerto Rico. The name comes from the animal's reported habit of attacking and drinking the blood of livestock, including goats. Physical descriptions of the creature vary. It is purportedly a heavy creature the size of a small bear, with a row of spines reaching from the neck to the base of the tail. Eyewitness sightings have claimed in Puerto Rico and have since been reported as far north as Maine and as far south as Chile, and even been spotted outside the Americas in countries like Russia and the Philippines. But many of the reports have been disregarded as uncorroborated or lacking evidence. Sightings in northern Mexico and the southern United States have been verified as canids, affected by canids, like canines, affected by mange. According to biologists and wildlife management officials, the chupacabra is an urban legend. So, goat sucker. So, what do you not find that interesting that he's hunting for a goat suckers? He's hunting for goat suckers. Now, what do many of the Democrats engage in? Well, we know that they worship Baphomet, the goat, and we know that they drink blood. Now, not all of them. I'm not accusing all of them, but we know certain ones that do. Yes, we do. So, very interesting post, and I love this. I just love it. Hunting for chupacabras. Hunt on, mighty hunter, hunt on. All right. Now, and we know that AG Barr is giving Devin Nunes a whole lot of material. So, yeah, hunting for chupacabras. And may he find them. Okay. Now let's go up to the next one, and then perhaps I should, because my gosh, I don't know where the time's going. All right. Now, this just in, okay, this is funny. Q is this Anon posted this by The Hill. It says, just in, Trump tags QAnon account in calling for voter ID law. Oh my gosh. Yes, he did, folks. Yes, he did. The Hill, verified account at The Hill. Just in, Trump tags QAnon account in calling for voter ID law. And beneath this, Q acknowledges it and says, Trump, and this is in quotes, Trump has periodically called for stricter voter ID laws, which advocates warn could restrict ballot access in low-income communities. Oh, they're already starting with that narrative, aren't they? Students and people of color. Why wouldn't students want to vote if they're a legal citizen? Please tell me. Anybody? No, I didn't think anybody had an answer. ID required when? Sheep follow the most absurd arguments. Democratic Party voter corruption on display. Q. Oh, you can say that again and again. Now let's come up to the next one. And this is making reference to a past bread. We've already read this. It was the very first post that we read. Placeholder, D-class, exculpatory evidence, illegal hold, non-report, FISA, T, surveillance. Oh, okay. Well, now Q has given us the answer to that T question, whether T is telephone or Trump. It's neither. T equals targeted. So Q must have known that people weren't getting it, and he's good that way, because he throws out something, and then if the anons don't get it, he comes back and gives a little bit more to help. And in this case, apparently we needed it because we didn't have the answer, didn't have the right answer. So T equals targeted. FISA targeted surveillance makes sense. Watch the news this week. So July 30th was yesterday, Tuesday. Q is saying, watch the news this week, because this D class is supposedly coming out this week. I was told today, but you know, today is wearing on. But this is the week. I do believe this is the week. So all that information, the declassification will show that there was exculpatory evidence that was withheld from the FISA court. That's not a good thing, because it would have possibly or probably exonerated those that they were spying on. Interesting. Very interesting. Now, I think I'm going to stop here because we've got a long way to go still. I'm not sure when I started now, which I should have taken note of. Okay, I'm going to stop right here. I'm going to pick up exactly where I left off in the next video, but before I do, as I promised, I'm going to show you the video of Xander and Sammy. All right, so you guys that were here for the Q post and wish to leave, you are welcome. Now, of course, you're always welcome to leave. I don't hold a gun to anybody's head, but I know that possibly some of you are not cat lovers. Now, I don't know how that could possibly be, but there are people out there that don't like cats. Okay, so let's, oh, that's me looking a little bit more like Tina Turner every day that goes by. All right, and let me see where this is. Not there. Here it is. Are you ready? I know, you were born ready. It's oh, isn't it cute? I know I should have had it the other way, but there they are cleaning each other. I didn't make my bed, I'm sorry. It's made now, but it wasn't then. All you can hear is my fan going in that room. He's got his paws on Sammy's eyes. Sammy says, I guess I'll just lick that paw. And Xander says, what are you doing, human? What are you doing? You probably can't hear it, but he's purring. And there's Sam all grown up. Can't believe how big he is. Xander is so tiny next to him, and really there's only 3 months difference in their age. Xander is 3 months younger, but looks about half or less than his size. It's almost over. Well, that's it. Now, there, you know, I listened to you guys that said you wanted to see Sammy and Xander, so I got them both together. Yes, they are adorable, absolutely adorable, and I'm so glad they get along because it makes my life a lot easier. And it's nicer when they can entertain each other and not be so needy, because I do have work to do during the day, so there you go. Anyway, I will be right back with part 2 of July 30th, and there won't be any more Sammy and Xander videos in part 2. So there you go. All right, stay safe, stay blessed, and come back and see me. No, really, keep seeking truth.